Yo, what's up, everyone? It's Nick here with another episode of Meet the Taco Plebs, and today I have Optimist Fields at My Living Truth. This dude is like a fucking brother to me. We talk pretty much every day for the past year or so. We started a podcast together. We've grown a pretty big community together at Bitcoin Kindergarten. We met up, we hung out at BitBlock Boom in Dallas, Texas this year, and it was really fucking fun. And yeah, this dude, he's a tight ass dude. So without any further ado, Optimist, what's up?
Yo, what's up, Nick? What's up, world? How's everyone doing? What's good, dude?
Nothing much, man. I just got off work not too long ago. Feeling good. We got the elections tomorrow and not feeling too good about that though. But yeah, man. Let's just jump right into it. What's your rabbit hole story and how'd you find Bitcoin?
All right, my rabbit hole story is I got into Bitcoin the end of November 2017. I really can't even remember like where I heard about it that day, but I remember hearing about it a few times. I think a few days before, I don't know, like it was either the day of or a few days before Bitcoin had just broken 10K. And so I was hearing about it on the news a few times. And then I came home later that day. I was chilling with my cousin. We were just sitting there smoking and chatting, listening to music and shit. And I asked him, he's a little younger than me. He's, I don't know, like 7 years younger than me or some shit. And I asked him, I'm like, yo, have you heard about this Bitcoin thing? Like, I'm hearing a lot about it today. And he looks at me like, wow, dude, like, yeah, I think I actually might have some. And he ended up not having anything. But by the end of that night, I sat there. I think we watched a few Andreas Antonopoulos videos on YouTube. And by the end of that night, we had, jumped into the rabbit hole and made Coinbase accounts and basically haven't left since that day. So yeah, it's been a ride, dude.
What made your cousin think that he used to have Bitcoin?
Well, he actually got in trouble with the law for like a bunch of Xanax and shit, and so he was buying, I guess, Xanax on darknet markets, or I don't know. He was buying illegal recreational things on darknet markets that the government and the law enforcement don't want you to have. And he was buying, I think, Bitcoin in like 2013 era or something, like right when it got on Coinbase and stuff. He's told me that he had bought in Bitcoin around like the $200 price point, but he was just using it as, like a means of exchange or like a payment method, just that was uncensorable, that no one can stop. And so he thought he had a wallet somewhere with some Bitcoin left over that he didn't spend on recreational activities, right? And he ended up not having any anywhere. I think actually he had left some money on a darknet market, but it got closed down. So I don't know. We'll never know what happened to those Bitcoins or if he had any of those Bitcoins. But just the fact that my younger cousin was into Bitcoin and knew about Bitcoin before me, it was kind of one of those things where I was like, all right, dude, like what? Like I need to know about this. And so I just took the dive and started listening to everything I could and devouring as much information as possible. And yeah, here I am.
How's your cousin doing with Bitcoin now? Is he into it? Does he think it's a scam, or is he what's his status on it?
No, dude, he's definitely became a hodler after the fact. He's not as obsessed with it or as diehard as I am, but we hang out all the time, and so I'm always ranting about Bitcoin and stuff. And like low key, I'll sometimes just steal some of our rants and put them on Twitter and stuff. So like he's low key one of my ghostwriters over here. No. Like I'll just like he'll say some shit and I'll be like, dude, I'm about to steal that for a tweet, and he'll be like, dude, where's my royalties, bro? I'm like, nah, fuck you, like you don't get nothing on this one. But no, yeah, he's a Bitcoiner. He's holding. I wish that he would DCA as much as I tell him to every week, but when he sees the price rise and he's always wanting to buy more, and he knows the like he knows the basics and enough about Bitcoin and enough about the Fed and like inflation and money printer go burr, where he knows that he can't save in Bitcoin or save in cash, save in the dollar, and he's not on the stock market or anything. So I have him saving some in Bitcoin, and he knows that when it's gonna fucking moon, like he'll be pretty set. So like yeah, I got him in the game. He's a hodler. He's he's making some waves out there, but he's still he just it's not like an obsession for him. He's just like whatever, dude. It's internet money. It's gonna go to the moon. But he watches it and we talk shit about it all the time. So he's a Bitcoiner. He's just like not that active on Bitcoin Twitter, but he's around.
That's dope. So you mentioned that you were like, oh, my younger cousin's into Bitcoin. I don't know what it is. I want to know more. And then you started watching Andreas videos. You started to get obsessed with it, etc. So has Bitcoin changed your life in any way? And if so, how?
Oh shit, dude. Bitcoin has for sure changed my life. I would say that it's changed my life into a complete 180. I at the time, like I've said this before, I think I was leaning a little more liberal, a little more leftist. I thought, like people just kind of need to be nicer to each other and like and the government, has to be a little less shady and things would work out. And now I probably lean a little more right, a little more conservative. At the time, I didn't even know about libertarianism really, and libertarianism is probably more up my alley than anything. Just like leave me the fuck alone, let me smoke my weed and do whatever I need to do, and like I'll do mine, you do yours. Like I don't care what you're doing, so like just get out of my business and you'll be straight. Like I didn't know libertarianism back in the day at all until I came into Bitcoin, and then I was found out like, oh yeah, like that's definitely more of what I've always thought and how I've always felt about things. And so now, like, not only has my, I guess, political views, if you could even say that, I've always kind of been like apolitical. I just didn't really care about it. I've always known that the game was rigged against us. So, like, it really didn't matter to me on that point. But like my whole world perspective has changed since Bitcoin. Like I think we always say it all the time. Like if you understand Austrian economics, then you'll understand the world better. And so going down the Austrian economics rabbit hole, I definitely feel like I have a better understanding of the world and what's going on. And though I still feel like I need a lot of things to learn, I feel like I have a better handle than the majority of people around here. But I still got to play dumb sometimes so I don't get in heated arguments with people when I really just don't care at all what they're talking about. So I mean, it's been a complete change. Like it's changed my behaviors. Like I don't even really smoke weed anymore like I used to. I'm able to save money now. I've never saved money ever. I've kind of lived a hedonistic life and just any money going in is going out to just like have fun and buy things. And now I'm saving a little cash and just trying to build things and try to enjoy life as much as possible, but also think about my future. And I'm getting a little older now, and so it's like, okay, it was kind of perfect timing where it's like, okay, you should probably start to do something for your future and not just live in the moment forever. And yeah, just perfect timing to find Bitcoin, and I think doing pretty well, and I got some good foundation to build the next part of my life. So I'm super hyped on it.
That's awesome, dude. What you said, it reminded me of this tweet from Russell Okong, the football player. He said, the more you educate yourself about liberty, sound money, free society, and limited government, the more you truly understand how the world works. And I retweeted that the other day, and I think that goes along perfectly with what you said, that the more you learn about Austrian economics and sound money, the more you can see clearly and, really understand how the world works. Because before, I didn't understand how the world worked. I'm in the same situation as you. I studied this stuff and I figured it out. And now I feel like I can see clearly and make like actual decisions for myself.
Exactly, dude. Like 100%. I mean, growing up, you think you know what's going on. It's like I'm so jealous of where you're at. You know, you're still a little baby. I'm way older than you, and just like if I could have had Bitcoin at your age, oh man, you know, my life would have been so different. But like I'm forever grateful for the timing because it's like, you know, it's my life. I can't take it back. So it's perfect timing on everything. If I found it earlier, I may have not been so obsessed. I wouldn't know all you guys, and you guys have definitely been, you know, as much like in an inspiration in everything that I'm doing and trying to do. And so it's just like perfect soil, man. Without the perfect soil, you know, the flowers can't grow. And so it's just like perfect timing, and everything's so good. And yeah, man, the more you study this stuff, the more you start to understand the world going on around you. And it's just crazy, you know, like it just, we still are so early because of the asymmetric information in the space. And it's like we figured it out, and we're just sitting over here chilling, shit posting, having a good time and enjoying ourselves and trying to, you know, outcompete each other. And it's just crazy times, man. We just live in the craziest times. It's like the best timeline, man. It's so perfect. I love it.
100% agree. And I know you said that you feel like you're getting older, but in a way, don't you feel younger? Because I know our friend Surfer Jim, who is a lot older than both of us, he, he's a lot older than both of us, but I swear he has the heart of someone who's my age or younger, you know? Like he talks all the time about how he's living his third life right now. He lived like his life growing up, his life working, and now he's living his life in Bitcoin, and he says he feels like he's like 20 years old.
Oh man, dude, 100%. It's like the only thing us older guys have on you and the Zoomers and all them is like we have that life experience, so we know how important this is, and we know that this is, for lack of better terms, like a rebirth. You know, it's like a second coming for all of us older guys that are like, oh shit, you know, we've known this forever, and now we have a solution to it. And it's like it's just invigorating, you know. So 100%, like I definitely was one of those like millennial boomers for a little while. We're like, oh, I'm getting old, my back's hurting, my knees hurting, you know, like this shit sucks. Like I gotta grind it out for the next 30 years before I retire. Like, oh my God, that sounds like a hellhole. But now it's like, all right, you know, like build some shit, grind it out, like saving Bitcoin, you know, you're gonna be fucking good to go. I'll be in my prime when this shit's pumping. Like I'm like good to go, dude. Like I'm excited for the next fucking 30, 40 years. So I'm just so hyped, but it's still, you know, it's life, man. Life isn't easy for everyone. So it, you know, there's days where it gets you down, but for the most part, dude, like it's all uphill from here. Like I said it the other day, you know, the future's bright. Like some people can say it's orange, you know what I'm saying? Like the future is good, man.
I totally agree, and I think there's such a big difference between like the mindset I've seen Bitcoiners have once they figure it all out versus like normal people who aren't into, or I should say Precoiners. Like I remember in high school, my senior year, a kid, a really nice, funny kid who was in one of my classes, he was telling me that he doesn't feel like he wants to live past 30 because he says like,
Yikes.
oh, he's like, when I'm 30, like he's like, I just want to party and eventually, just die. I was like, what the fuck? And he was like, yeah. He's like, there's nothing. He's like, I don't want to be old and stuff. He's like, that just seems so boring and depressing. He's like, I just don't think it's worth it. And like a good amount of kids agreed with him. I was like, Jesus Christ, dude. And I think about that, and I think about what you just said. It's like complete opposite mindsets.
Yeah, well, dude, I mean, like I'd be lying if I kind of wasn't on that same plane as your friend. I never thought of life past 21, and then I thought I was one of the special ones that go out at 27, and now I'm older than that, and I'm like, God damn, I was freaking retarded. Like there's still so much life left. I'm like, who wants to live a short life? You know, there's that saying like live hard and go out with a bang or whatever it is, and I'm like, man, I'm trying to live long and hard. Like, forget that. You know, I'm trying to be an old guy that's like a freaking gray fox, just balling out, like living
Mm-hmm.
well, dude, enjoying life as much as possible. But like, yeah, man, your friend, I like, I still have friends that kind of look at life like that, you know, very nihilistic, very hopeless, or at least don't have too many prospects into the future. They're just, you know, trying to go week by week, day by day, and just try to enjoy life as much as possible. There's really no light at the end of the tunnel. And while sometimes I still feel that way at times, and I'm like, man, like when's you know, when am I gonna see the good life type shit? I realize that like it's coming and it's already here. Like I feel like I'm in a better place than I've ever been in my life, and I can literally attribute it all to Bitcoin. You know, I eat better, I feel better, like, you know, I have a healthy perspective about life, and like I can literally say it's because of reading, you know, Bitcoin articles and hanging out with all my Bitcoin friends, and you know, just trying to be as good as a person as I can be. And I've always wanted to be, you know, the best person I can be, but just, you know, your environment sometimes isn't the best. And a lot of people don't really know what's going on, and they don't really have the best like successful perspective on living, and they're just kind of like automatons and robots going through the maze. And so like I feel, you know, Bitcoin is a cheat code once you figure it out, and you like, it's bound to make your life better once you become a maximalist. Like, I don't know. I've seen it with all of our friends, and I know it can do it to anyone else. Like I've said it before, if Bitcoin's done this for me, like, man, everyone else is fucking blessed, because I was a piece of work for a while. Like, let's just put it that way.
So I think this is a perfect segue into what's the meaning behind your username? I've heard you say it before, and I think it goes perfectly well with what we're just talking about.
All right, yeah. So Optimist Fields, I took that from someone else. I didn't really create it. I took it from Park, and it was one of those days where I was just hating everything, hating the morning, and I just looked up, and it was Optimist Fields, and I was like, yep, like that's the alter ego I'm gonna take. And I've had Optimist Fields for a while. Like I used to, like, I still make music, but I used to be more into music, and I'm really a big fan of MF Doom, and he has like a bunch of different aliases to tell his story. And so I always loved that. And so I was like, all right, like that's one of the aliases, Optimist Fields, because you know, like the future's bright. I'm trying to stay optimistic, and the future fields that I'm going to be walking on are going to be optimistic and beautiful, and like I'm creating that life. And then the My Living Truth tag is like, you know, at My Living Truth. And I had that tag. I don't know if it's on my Twitter anymore, but it's like, it's not the truth, it's just some of mine. And since, you know, I'm doing this journey online, and everything I've done is basically on there, and so, you know, like I'm not really out here lying about everything. Like, you guys don't know everything about me, but you guys probably know as much, or if not more, about my personality than most of my friends. And so like, it's just my truth out here. And at the time when I created it, I think I was very much one of those people that believed in like subjective truths and stuff. So now it's kind of funny because, you know, like the lefties have taken like, oh, this is my truth, and, you know, like, blah whatever, you know, blah blah, my truth is more important than your truth. And I'm like, yo, like, it's just my truth, I'm documenting it for everyone to see, but I definitely believe in an objective truth. And so, like, you know, I'm not out here saying that my truth's any better than anyone else's, but it's like my life is my truth. And you know, I'm out here just sharing it a little bit with all you guys, and you guys seem to be resonating with it. So like, that's what's up.
That's awesome, man. Um, so my next question is, what is the most amazing thing about Bitcoin to you?
Fuck, man, that's probably the hardest question around here. um the most amazing, I mean, I think it just has to do with like the decentralization, the fact that you can't kill Bitcoin. It's been going on for 11, what are we about to be on, 12 years, and no one can kill it. You know, we control the network. You know, if you have a node, an economic node, like, you control the network. And just, you know, like, we have a voice now. You know, like we said earlier, the elections are tomorrow, and I've always been one to be like, okay, voting's a fraud. Like, there's no need to vote. Voting's a scam. And now, as a Bitcoiner, I have my voice being heard, quote unquote, and it's by the software that I run. And then no one can fuck with it. And it's like that just is so empowering to me. And then, I mean, furthermore, like Bitcoin's difficulty adjustment is just that's like the most mind blowing thing to me. Like miners come on the network and you can print like you can't print any more Bitcoins. And so it's just elegant and beautiful and simple, and man, it just makes people better. I don't it's so weird, man. Like Bitcoin is truly the greatest invention that man's ever came up with, in my opinion. And like I'm here at the front row, get to watch it, and fuck if I know, man. This is just crazy ride.
We're so early too. We're incredibly early, like price wise. Um, just I can't even imagine where we'll be in 10, 20, 30 years. And it's like we are living at the exact perfect time. We're living at the beginning of a, 1,000 to 10,000 plus year dynasty, in my opinion.
Woo, bullish. Let's get it. No, you're so right, dude. It's like even we feel like we're late to the party, and we know we're early to the party. So like like shouts out to all the real OGs out there that have been holding on since like 2010 and 2013 and earlier and stuff, because they had to have some real foresight to hodl those Bitcoins and to still be in the game for that long, because like the timing that I came in, like I said earlier, it's just perfect timing for the soil. And I got to learn under like Stefan Livera and Marty Bent and Matt Odell and freaking Pierre and Goldstein and stuff and safety and like those guys just gave us the perfect education to understand what this is going, what's happening. And they definitely like supercharged our learning environment. And so we got to basically absorb, what was it, like, I don't know, 7-10 years of knowledge in about a few years. So we had the condensed information for us to understand this, and it's like just perfect timing. And we're definitely early to the party, but I like to say that anyone that's in the space now is like, you're here at the perfect timing. And just if you're here, then learn as much as you can and get to that Bitcoin Zen moment where that Bitcoin is the best savings technology, and just try to do your best in life and save some in Bitcoin, and you're going to be good. And then go evangelize the sound money gospel to other people, and you won't be late to the party anymore, because shit's going to pump. Like, let's go.
Dude, I always think about like the hodlers back in the day, 2010, 2009, 2010, 11, 12, 13, etc. These people, they must have really, really done their research on it and believed in the project. Because when I got in, there were talks of, oh, the institutions are coming, the New York Stock Exchange is going to come in. And then not too long later, they launched Backed, BAKKT. And I was like, oh my gosh, they're actually in. Like, that gives me more conviction that like Bitcoin isn't a fad and it's not going away. And it's like back in the day, they didn't have nothing. And they had to go through all this FUD. And it just makes me wonder, man, would I have had the conviction back then to even research it more, or would I just see it and say, this is a scam, I'm not getting into this? Like I ask myself that question all the time.
Oh, dude, I can almost wholeheartedly tell you that I probably wouldn't have made it. I would have been one of those idiots with my coins on empty Gox or some shit like that, or just like not having the depth of knowledge to understand it. And like I can almost tell you that I wouldn't have made it. And I would have been one of those people we make fun of on Twitter, like, oh, look at this idiot saying some dumb shit about Bitcoin and then just getting wrecked. So like I know I wouldn't have made it, because even getting into the space when I did, I like barely made it, dude. Like I made it by like the skin of my teeth, bro. And so like I don't take this for granted. I'm just so glad to be here. And like, man, shouts out to everyone out there before us that was educating and putting in the work and getting ridiculed, because without them, I wouldn't be here. And now you and I are like the new crop of educators. Like, it still blows my mind that we're Bitcoin podcasters, and people look up to us like, okay, bro, like, fuck yeah, like, dude, I'm just happy to be here, happy to be along for the ride. And I believe in Bitcoin, and I believe Bitcoin will help humanity usher in the next renaissance. And it's done it for me, and it's brought me new life, and like, it's brought me hope. And like, the Star Wars meme, like, Bitcoin is our last hope, bro. Like, Bitcoin is the way, guys. Like, if you need someone to tell you again, like, Bitcoin is the way. It's inevitable in my mind. Like, Bitcoin already won. It's just most people don't know it yet.
Let's go. So, for the last couple of minutes, I actually do want to talk about our podcast, Bitcoin Kindergarten. I've mentioned it here a few times. I haven't really ever gone into deep depth about it, but do you maybe want to talk about how it got started, how it's going, and maybe, stuff you've enjoyed about it?
All right, dope. Yeah. So, Nik and I, you could probably find it on Twitter. We did like a Bitcoin Basics podcast. I don't know, like, what, 6 months, a year or something before we started our podcast.
Probably
And
a year ago. Yeah.
yeah, and we were just trying to go through some basic Bitcoin questions and answer them for people. And now, like asterisk, we look back at that, and I'm like, oh man, like, wow, we like barely got it, and we're just like, yeah. Anyways, and then a little later, we were on Twitter, like we always are. We're just hanging out on Twitter, and our friend Jeremy, he was talking, I forget who he was talking to, but he was talking to someone, and he said something like, I wish there was a Bitcoin noob show that was like a radio call-in show that people new to Bitcoin or skeptics could just call and get the the pristine Bitcoin knowledge from like verified Bitcoiners, I think he put it. And I forget like how I got tagged into the thread. I might have said something like, "Oh, that's a good idea, bro. Like, someone should definitely do it." And I told him, like, yeah, Nik and I tried to do something like that, but it was like whatever. We didn't really continue on it. And he was like, "All right, dude. Well, Optimist Nik, like, why don't you guys do it?" And me and you went back and forth, and we're like, all right, dude, like, should we do it? Like, we'll see, like, we'll see if we can keep it going. And so Nik and I jumped in DMs, and I think it was like a week later, we just tried to figure out the best way for us to put this show up. And we just kind of thought in our heads, like, okay, well, let's try one. If we bomb it, then we bombed it, and at least we tried. And I don't know, what's it been, like 6 months or something, 5 months since we've started, and people seem to like it, and we have more fun every week. And so we just keep going out and try to make it as best as possible, and try to educate people as best as we can. And we, like you said, have built up a freaking awesome community of Bitcoiners over there that show up every week and make the show whole. And like we say every week, without them, we probably wouldn't have the show going. And so they're as much of the show as we are, and they just, they hold us accountable, and they make us put on some dope stuff for the people out there. And so I'm pretty excited about what we can do. And so like I'm just stoked, dude. Like, we've done stuff that I never thought I'd do. Like I said, I'm a Bitcoin podcaster. Like, I never wanted to be a Bitcoin podcaster. I just got freaking voted into the job, and now I'm like, oh shit, okay, I'm a podcaster. We presented on the HCPP freaking TV. Like, it's just crazy. Like, it's just crazy to me that people are listening to the pod, and listening to us, and considering us as some of the voices of Bitcoin. And so it just blows my mind that we're the people out there that they want to listen to. And not only that, but like, I've said it before, and it was a Matt Odell tweet, and he said something like, every time I speak on the podcast, I fully expect to get canceled or something like that. And so like, that's kind of how I view it, dude. Like, every time we go on the pod, I'm like, like I'm over it now, but even the first one, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna say something so dumb and it's just gonna freaking end in a fiery ball. And every time I go out there, have fun and hang out with the boys and laugh and and girls don't let me be sexist now. And I just have like a good time and people are listening and they like it's just, dude, it's just so dope. It blows my mind. It blows my mind that we're Bitcoin podcasters and we're gonna do some dope stuff. Me and Nick talk about it, trying to make it the best every week. So yeah, go listen to us.
Yeah, our podcast has been we've made a lot of changes throughout it. I remember we started doing interviews like like all the other podcasters do, and then after a while we were like, we shouldn't really do that. We should, just start to ask questions. So we had to get newbies in every single week and we'd ask them questions, and we had a lot of success, especially with Anastasia, who came there for like a couple weeks straight, and just we knocked out, week after week after week, all of her questions, and we turned it into a toxic maximalist. That's definitely our best success story so far. And then we changed it to the format we have now, where we have an hour of educational content, and then we end the recording, and then we have another hour where we just talk about recent events and stuff going on in the community.
Yeah, so just to add a little bit, it's we put out presentations. It'll either be Nick and I creating the presentation or one of our friends that go up and present a certain aspect of Bitcoin. And then in what we call Teachers Lounge, we just go in and shoot the shit, and hopefully we have some noobs in there and they want to ask us some questions, and we can either, tailor the show on them, or we can talk about what's going on that week. So if you're new to the space, please don't be shy. Come join us, and you're going to have a room full of epic Bitcoiners giving you that pure, raw Bitcoin knowledge. So come join us, man.
Yeah, so I couldn't have said it better myself, but we're a little bit over the 30-minute mark, so we're going to wrap up this interview. Is there any last words you want to give the listeners?
I will just tell you guys, Orange coin good, number go up, stay humble, stack sats. Bitcoin fixes this. Like, if you're listening to this today or whenever this comes out or anytime into the future, I am almost convinced that Bitcoin is going to be a lot higher in price than it is now. It's going to be, more refined. The UX and user experience are going to be better. There's going to be better privacy aspects to Bitcoin. It's just improving consistently. So just keep going down the rabbit hole. Come join us on Twitter. Come join us on our Discord. And like, if you're willing to learn, people are out there to help you. Don't fall for that toxic, Bitcoins are asshole meme. Bitcoiners are only assholes if you're being an idiot. And so, everyone, we give a little leeway for being an idiot, but if you're here for the cause, then you'll get a lot of help along the way. Our friends are here to help us.
Let's go. Perfect way to end it. So if you made it to the end of this video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Go follow Optimist on Twitter at my_livin_truth. Follow Bitcoin Kindergarten at BTC Kindergarten. Both links will be down in the description. And yeah, peace, guys.
Peace out.
Hold on to the pavement. Hit me, love me for grateful recognition.